Mike. Whoa, that's loud. Okay. You can call me Greg. I'd be remiss if I didn't give you just a brief introduction for those that don't know us. My wife, Pauline, our daughter, Grace, my two sons, Christopher, James, and our youngest, Tessa. We've been here about almost 2 years now, and we're really finding this home, and we really are appreciative of this family and the welcoming that you've provided for us. And so I'm here to talk about stewardship, and I have a whole write-up that I was hopeful to use at the 8 o'clock service, and I didn't use any of it, so I think I'm just going to stand here and do something similar. In my life, in the past, when I've heard the word stewardship particularly in the context of a church setting, I immediately reach for my wallet. And I think many of us have that same reaction. That might be to reach and hold onto it tightly, or maybe in a good way, maybe to open it up. And I think in that way we think about stewardship and equate it to giving. And certainly that is an accurate part of what stewardship is, in my opinion. A number of years ago, Pauline and I started tuning into a guy named Dave Ramsey, who is a financial teacher, Christian financial teacher, and teaches a lot about financial matters. He has something to say about stewardship, and he describes it this way. He harkens the word back to the root, which is steward, and he talks about what a steward did back in the Middle Ages, and particularly the steward of the castle. The king would have a steward that would be in charge of his estate, and the steward didn't own anything. The king had all the resources. The king had all the land, all the stuff that was in the land, the livestock, had all the money, but the steward was responsible for managing it. So he had owned nothing, but was responsible for everything. And over time, I think I've been learning. The Lord has been teaching me a lot about what stewardship is in that context. Learning to think about the resources that He's given me, or maybe not even given me, but let me manage, as the case might be sometimes. And that really helps to frame to frame how I think about stewardship, not just of my finances, but also of my time and the talents that He's given me to use. And two stories, I'm going to try to be as quick as I can. Two stories come to mind. One of them was a number of years ago in a church that we were attending. My wife and I had an opportunity to care for a woman that was in need. When I say care for, that sort of evolved over time. It started with she needed a ride to church. She needed a ride to get groceries and that kind of thing. But it turned into having the opportunity to care for some of her needs. Like providing some food, helping her with some laundry, helping her with some basic household things that she really needed. And that was an opportunity that the Lord provided to us to be a good steward of our time and talents. We really felt this, and not necessarily while we were in the midst of it, but as we came through that situation and sort of looked back on it. It was not the easiest thing we ever did. It was a difficult relationship that we had with that particular person. But as we came through it and looked back on it, we really see that the Lord taught us a lot about what it meant to think about the talents and time that He's given us, and money, finances, resources, and what it meant to use those for His kingdom work on earth. And the second story is a little bit more recent, and it's sort of puts my family on the recipient end. I think most of you know my son was in a pretty significant boating accident a couple months ago, and he's doing great. He's sitting here, and the response that we got from the community, and I guess that came from all kinds of places, but I'll just talk to you folks. The support that we got from you folks was extraordinarily humbling to us. We had people step up to help us watch our kids. We had people step up to, people step up and visit us in Maine, which was a long way away. We had people support us financially. That's an example of a community like us here, taking stewardship seriously and using the gifts and talents that are given to us to bless somebody that was in need, and we thank you for that. I think that I'll just leave you with this, that as our journey as we've been embarking on our journey, my wife and I have learned a lot about stewardship through those type of stories and others that I don't have time to share with you. But I think that what I want to leave is, I think if I were to sum it up, stewardship ends up being a mindset, not just grabbing your wallet and opening up and writing a check. It ends up that, in our experience anyway, I think we can say that as our vision, or I don't want to say understanding because that would mean that we're there, but as our vision of the kingdom of heaven has sort of enlarged, and as we've sort of been, as the Lord has diligently been walking with us and showing us new things about what that means on this earth, our capacity to use our time, talents, and financial resources for His work has increased. And so I think it's Matthew 6 says, "Seek first His kingdom, and all these things will be added to you." And I think that that's really where I land on this, is that seek first the kingdom. The mindset comes first, and then the actual discipline of giving your time, talents, and resources comes. So thank you very much. Appreciate your time.